Greetings, guys. Welcome back to my channel. My name is Vonette, and this is my channel, Evolve with Vonette. For those of you that are new here, I'm a professional intuitive empath, and today we're going to jump right into the subject matter at hand. Teesa, and Legion, and what to do, and how to be when you are in a scandalo and you get scammed so completely. Over the last weekend, what has taken the internet by storm is a story by Reesa Teesa on Beyonce's Good Internet while she was trying to just release her sacred line of hair care products. Are you guys going to try it? Let me know below. While she was trying to release her sacred line and get all of our heads together and write and get us information, there was a story that happened where a woman put out a plus 50 part, I think it was on TikTok, where she released part after so many parts. And I watched and fast forwarded through, I think it was 3 hours in total. I tried to get down to 1.5 on 2.0 speed. Thank you, YouTube streets. We love you for that. But anyway, y'all, I listened to the whole thing. I even listened to some of the fallout of the women that came after. Long story short, she was scammed. She met a guy. She liked the guy. Tire popped. Ancestors tried to stop her. She didn't listen. It was quarantine time. It was a hairy time for us all. We were all getting into weird relationships and doing strange things. If we weren't in relationships or staying in relationships we wanted to get out of, or getting out of relationships we wanted to be in, because we were like, I can't quarantine with this person, or I will quarantine with this person. Well, she was human like all of us and felt subject to that. There's a lot of talk about whether she was there's a lot. There's so much to unpack here, because there's like talk about conventional attractiveness. She was plus size. She is brown skinned. Why did she accept this? Did she never have this? It has opened up a pantheon. Legion, imagine that, has opened up a pantheon of discussion about attractability politics and my man, and being man centered and all of it. But at the end of the day, what I saw was a good old-fashioned narcissist and an empath. I also saw somebody who wanted to level up and saw a level up inside of her man. Thank you to her man. And she said so many things that were poignant and honest. And I thought, sis, no lies were told. She said, you know, I saw the flags to a certain degree, but I thought, maybe it's just my turn. Maybe it could be as good as it seems, and it's just my turn to live my dreams and to be happy. And I so related to that. Have you ever fallen in love with someone and they're absolutely giving you every red flag that shit's balderdash, and you're just like, I don't see it, you know? Unfortunately, in my line of work, there's only so long that I can't unsee it. My angels like crack me right over the head right away. But I've been hurt. Maybe not to that degree. Maybe not with a miscarriage and a move-in and endless house hunting. My God, the house hunting, it just never ended. And I think that's what she really wanted. I don't think she wanted Legion as much as she wanted the house. I think Legion was bonus. It came with the deed, but the house and the deed, it's actually what she wanted. Anyway, she found herself in the most crazy situation with a guy who was pretending to talk to family that he never spoken to in years on the phone for hours a day, every day. The commitment that was showing her pictures and screenshots of his finances. Said he had offshore accounts and he was a VP of a condiment company, but really he drove a forklift, and nothing wrong with that, but you ain't got a lot to kick it. And y'all, I'm exhausted. Even to recap it the way I want to is gonna take too long. I've already done a few videos tonight. You have the gist of it. He was a narcissist. He lied. He wove a web of deception. One of the best professors that deals with this subject matter is Dr. Sam Venkin, and he is here on the YouTube streets, and he's literally written a lot of the books that you can read and understand and digest that have to do with understanding narcissists. He, I believe, is a narcissist diagnosed as well, but it's just, he's so professorial. The work is so good, and he talks about the narcissist shared fantasy and how the narcissist, I can't talk tonight, guys, how the narcissist seeks to bring you into their shared fantasy. And he's not wrong. And as I was listening to Reesa Teesa tell her tale of woe and despair and bamboozlement, that is all that came to mind, was the professorial take from Dr. Sam Venkin about the shared fantasy. The narcissist will paint a world and a picture and include you in and act like we're going to build this thing together. I'm literally looking at a book on my bookshelf here, and my angels say grab it if I can reach it. Let's see. I always have my handy dandy grabber because everything is always like miles away. Can I reach this without breaking anything? Okay. Okay, so I have it, and this is what I'm gonna show you. The This is what the narcissist does. My angels were like, this is a perfect example. This is a book by Denise Lynn. But you see the shared fantasy? The narcissist is like, let's take your hand and my hand, and we're going to plant the soil, and we're going to grow the tree. This is a fantastic book, 4 Acts of Personal Power, which you need when you're dealing with narcissists. But I thought that that picture was a great visual about the narcissist and the shared fantasy. So they're like, we're going to build this thing together, and they bring you into this world, and they build this world, and it's fake. It's a lie. It's not a reality. I had a narc string me along for years one time telling me that they were going to do something. People, we all can exist at a certain level of toxicity. Again, not everybody is a narcissist, so not everybody's going to do that. But we all can lie, and people are liars in that part, right? But the narcissist will go to great extremes to bring you into the shared fantasy. And that's exactly what Legion, which is such an appropriate name, which means like Legion of Demons. That's what Legion did. He brought her into his shared fantasy. So much of a fantasy, they were going to look at cars. They were going to look at houses. They were shopping and going around town. It was exhausting, because what a narcissist wants to do is wear you out, so that when they drop you on your head and they're like, none of this was real, dummy, that you absolutely lose your mind. They're hoping that you fracture and break and literally split and go into like dissociative, personality disorder, because what they want is to be able to be like, you're the one that was crazy the whole time. All of this was real, but he lied. He lied about everything. He lied to everyone. He lied to his family. He lied to her. He lied to the past girlfriends. He lied to his job. He lied to himself most of all. The narcissist does not like the life they're living. In fact, he had a twin who actually is successful, and who he kind of was stealing parts of his story to like pad out his shared fantasy in life. But he had brought Reesa Teesa right in. Pardon me, guys. He had brought Reesa Teesa right in to that shared fantasy. And she tells us after many, many parts that it all crumbled and fell apart, and that he got sick, and all the things he started to do in the beginning, he stopped doing clearly. He didn't have the money. He was lying to all these realtors. It was such a crazy web. That's what the shared fantasy is a web. That's why I see narcissists as spiders, or a lot of like work is referring to them as spiders. I literally see them as spiders, but it's referred to literally the narcissist web in a lot of literature, guys, that you will be brought into the narcissist web, because it's just this big web of lies and craziness. They're absolutely insane, and they want you to be insane too. The cautionary tale and the takeaway from Reesa Teesa is this. When your ancestors sent you a sign, she was on her way to her first date, her tire popped. That was the sign. They're like, don't do this, sis. Just cancel. Cancel for another day. Because this narcissist is going to eat your life up. And he did not come to play. But she didn't listen, because we don't sometimes. And the heart wants what it wants. And like she said, is it finally, it went in my turn. Like she thought it was her turn. And it was a lesson for her to learn. Ooh. I just channeled Halle Bailey. That's a lesson for her to learn too. I'm going to make another video about that. I have a lot of feelings about Halle Bailey and that kid that she's with. Adult man that she's with, that she just had a baby with. God bless the baby. Soulmates have assignments, but it doesn't mean you stay with your soulmates forever. That part. Anyway, when's it her turn? So, in any case, Reesa Teesa thought, when's it my turn? She had her little mermaid moment. We all do. We all want to be under the sea. We all want to kiss the girl or kiss the guy or kiss the boy or kiss the whoever, right? But the point is, to what cost? And I just did a video where I was talking about Nicki Minaj and karmic partners, but the same can be said here. He was absolutely a karmic partner, absolutely a narcissist sent in to bring her to the pits of despair, absolutely sent in to steal her life force and to take care of her. And the thing about narcissists that I see that happens all the time as I work with clients every day is that they'll say they started out this way and then they end that way. And the way they end is exactly how it ended with Legion, where she was having to give him McDonald's money. He was living out of his car. He was unkempt, unwashed. He was living from couch to couch if it wasn't out of his car. That is a bar that's set in hell that I see narcissists achieve quite often once we sweet empaths start feeding them our lifeblood and giving them all of our energy and our delicious kindness. Reesa Teesa definitely needed to learn this lesson. It doesn't mean that we wish it upon her. There's, like I said, a lot of conversation about the attractive politics and all that stuff, and why she allowed and why she settled and why she wanted what she got and blah, 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 blah. But at the end of the day, strip us down to bare bones and meat suits. She wanted to be loved, as we all do. And sometimes we will settle for a hot mess of a lying game right in in front of our face because it's something that we want. Self-esteem. I counsel gorgeous women that are literally models that still are asking me the same questions that I sometimes have, college students asking me, or women that are in the nursing home with beautiful lives that are asking me the same question that those models are asking me. Women in their 30s, sometimes men too. It doesn't matter what you look like, what color, skin, creed, whatever you're in. This can happen to you because we all have loved someone and wanted to not see what we actually saw in them, which was like the absolute worst. And that's what happened with Reesa Teesa. Yes, the ancestor tried to burst that tire and throw her an alley-oop. They did. But she was meant to evolve from this. What was she meant to learn? What we learn when we deal with a narcissistic relationship is how to stand on our own, how to get out of something, how to say no, how to have boundaries, how to realize, like, I always did know you were lying. I did know you were lying. I always did know that you were full of it. I remember when you did this, this, and this, because the past is prologue. People do things to you. They will repeat it. People also tell you who they are. Please believe it. I can't tell you how many times I've been like, you're amazing. Y'all know when you're in the you're amazing part of a relationship, you're amazing. No, you're amazing. You're amazing. No matter what phase you're in, but someone shows you like their like teeth and you know it's there and you're like, oh, that happened later. Just like I pretended not to see the first time. Guys, we are always giving out intel, ourselves included. We all have our own idiosyncrasies, our own like issues, our own failures to communicate properly. We lie. Everybody's human, but everyone's not a narcissist, and everyone's not going to bring you into a shared ass lying fantasy and web of destruction. For Reesa Teesa, she will learn so much. She will have some PTSD. That is the 9 of Wands if you read tarot. She will be triggered. That is Wounded Warrior Chiron energy. But Chiron is in all of our charts. We all have something to learn from our deepest wounds and hurts. And for Reesa Teesa, she will evolve past this stronger. And she will get everything that she wanted. That's the funny thing about the desperation we can sometimes be in to make something happen. We'll accept this piss poor, subpar, really shitey behavior from people that are not even on our level to whatever that means. And you say, well, what does that mean? What if you have low self-esteem? What level are you even are? What level was Reesa Teesa on? She had low self-esteem. Reesa Teesa, if you hear her talk, she kind of knows what she wants. She kind of knows what she was going after. Reesa Teesa will, in fact, draw into her someone who will value her and treat her with the partnership that she wanted. But in our society, we certainly are on a time frame. And then if you want to add on all the other parts of it, brown skin, plus size, this and that, there's definitely a factor of scarcity and like, what will I get? And will I get what I deserve? And will I be loved the way I want to? And sometimes the answer isn't always yes. And so you can kind of cling on to something and then realize like this is not what was best. That's what Reesa Teesa was supposed to learn. I just saved you guys so much time. He's absolutely crazy. The angels agree with the confirmation. He's absolutely crazy. He lied to her, took her shopping for houses 2750 11 times, took her shopping for cars that he never bought, lied to her, and then ended up peeing in Gatorade bottles, and she kicked him out. The end. I just saved you hours and hours and hours. And then she talked to his family and they're all like, he's a liar. He's always been a lying liar that lies. Why you always lying? Why you always lying? Oh my God. Stop freaking lying. He wasn't lying. He was lying the whole time. And that's what narcissists will do. They will spin you right round, baby, right round. Literally wasting your time for years, for as long as you let them. Not just narcissists, but toxic people too. As long as you're going to let them play reindeer games with you, they're like, we love it over here. It's nice and warm. It's a petri dish where we can grow our bacteria and craziness and attach our fungus to you. They don't want to leave you. You become the host. They are parasitic. It's exhausting. I'm exhausted. That's Reesa Teesa in a nutshell. She will manifest in what is right for her. She will have to do some real therapy and some real work. If she made some coins like we think she did, everybody was pocket watching her from the TikToks, and put that into some therapy, sis. Go to Europe, do you. You earned it. You deserve a vacation. But also get a therapist on speed dial. Someone who is not your friends and family that you are going to be embarrassed about to talk. I'm embarrassed to say I'm getting played like this. Talk to someone who's going to help you if you don't talk to God. That's me all day. Me and my angels is in the in the cut with my twin. We be vibing. I'm vibing with my angels and God. That's my first line of defense. My ancestors, my angels, my spirit team. But I also have a real therapist. I also talk to real shamans. I also have real practitioners and get real readings. Okay, I have people in my life that are like, see, this is not right. Because sometimes when we're too close to something, we can't tell under the limerence light. And when we are recovering codependence, as many of us are, how many of you guys watched The Crappy Childhood Fairy? She's fantastic here on YouTube. A lot of us that suffer from CPTSD, which is childhood post-traumatic stress disorder from being abused in whatever form or fashion, whether it's mental abuse, whatever. A lot of us that suffer from that find ourselves in the most crappy of relationships and interesting, awkward configurations, even when we think we're healed. Every time I think I'm healed, the guy's like, level up, level up, level up. He keeps playing Sierra for me, CC, and it's like, you didn't heal it. This isn't it. This is not it. This is BS. So I'm telling you guys, even me as a practitioner, as a person with therapists, as a person who talks to people, the person who talks to Jesus, as my homie, all that, I still find myself in crazy situations that I put myself in. And I'm like, how did I get here? And they're like, oh, because you still have this wounding that you have to work through. So that's why I'm like, don't make too much fun of Reesa Teesa, because it could be you, and more than likely, real talk, it has been you. I'm just saying. That's what the angels said. They nosy. My angels are real nosy. So that's what I need you to understand. Therefore, for the grace of God, go any of us to be up underneath our man. Thank you to our man or our woman, or our non-binary. You name it. You play it how you want to play it. It's your life. But what I'm going to tell you is, don't let those narcs get you lost in your mind, going around in circles, trying to find the pot of gold that they already stole. Okay, if they can steal it from you, they did it, sis. They got you. And Reesa Teesa was God, but that's because God had other work to do. Her story will help millions of people, will help hundreds of thousands of women, and it's already opened up a huge dialogue and conversation about so many things that are taboo and hard to say, like the attractability politics. That was not something that's easy to talk about and just be like, oh, I deserve less, or society says I deserve less because I don't look like this, so I should take what I get. That's a real thing, and she made it so that we can have open conversations about it. We all volunteer as tributes at one time or another when we incarnate onto the spinning ball called Earth to learn lessons about our worth. We will all volunteer as a tribute to be the teacher for something, for a friend or a family member up close and personal, where they will see us fail miserably or succeed extraordinarily, and someone gets to study that so that they can too do what we did or not do what we did do. Makes sense? So Reesa Teesa, we thank you for your offering. You incarnated on this earth, I think, for this reason and this lesson. And even though it feels like it was atrocious, I promise you, there is a blessing. You will evolve through this and be better, and you will manifest exactly the right go-getter that's actually got his shit together, because you will now be getting your mental shit together, and we couldn't wish better for you any sooner. Anyway, guys, so good sharing energy with you. Come back and join me next time. We'll continue to evolve together.